Possible to go down from each side of the center. It's possible to go down each side, the Ida and the Pingala. It's possible to go down either side. But you can't go beyond them. Well, what does that look like? See the way he's talking about it? Now what's curious about this, you see, is you could say, well, if I do, whether it was intended that way or not, if every part fits, then that's an easy way to remember it. But there are so many things that are like this in Plato, that separating the soul from the body is a yoga, that we may wonder whether or not this is possible. The language is there. The language is there. Well, then what happens to someone who has mastered this? That is knowing death and dying and the process involved in it, isn't it? That's really what philosophy is about. True philosophy. Often ignored in the universities, but not here, thank goodness. Right? And this is fun. This is the challenge. Now, what happens to the philosopher? You see, we haven't talked once about the philosopher throughout this whole thing. Oh yes, when we started we mentioned it just once. And therefore, I'd like to give you another puzzle, and possibly dealing with the same puzzle we had last time in the myth of return to it once again. Now, let me make it clear. We put it up here. What follows? What are the implications of these two positions? The soul of each and every one is reborn again and again and again. Sometimes a better birth, sometimes a worse one. Unending. What are the implications of the Buddhist view? Which is, it is possible to get off the wheel of birth and death. Well, nirvana, blowing out the very thirst. These are certainly different, aren't they? 1 and 2, they're different. Now, this later view took many years to develop. And the question we had last time was whether or not we can read the myth of in such a way that it is quite possible for the philosopher to be included here. If so, then we have to change the whole view of Platonic philosophy. So, that's our riddle. And that's the problem of the philosopher in Plato. In order to see if I can get you into it, please. I'd like to share with you and again, what's most interesting about Plato, if he does this once, he does it again and again and again. He will often compact what he's doing in 1 or 2 sentences. And you have to pull it apart. You have to open it up and see what's in it. He'll spend paragraphs on some points, and you might look at those points and say, I wish he had spent that much time on how to separate the soul from the body and tell me how you do that habit trick, and when can you do it, and what it's like, and what you should do if that's possible, and all those kinds of nice questions. But no, he only gave us that one sentence. Well, I'll give you another sentence. Here it is. And of all these, all who have duly purified themselves I should say, and all of these who have duly purified themselves by philosophy. Now remember, what he means by philosophy is what we described a moment ago, which is separation of the soul from the body. Live here, and it's a very interesting word, hereforth, altogether, without bodies, and pass to still more beautiful abodes which it's not easy to describe, nor do we have time now. See? We cheated us again. Right, just where we would like him to go on for a couple of more paragraphs. What does he say? There it is. Look at that terrible line. See, which it's not easy to describe, those beautiful abodes, nor have we now time enough. Oh, Socrates. Now look here. If duly purified, what does that mean? If they've duly purified themselves by philosophy, what will happen to them? They will live hereforth, altogether without bodies, and pass on to still more beautiful abodes. Now, this is all you have. This is all he gives us. Now, can you make a case for getting off the wheel of existence, life and death, with that quote? Well, you know what you can do? At least you can say, we know one thing, all right, there isn't anybody here who won't agree to this. How about that? This is good. That is it not absolutely clear to you that if you're reborn, you're going to have a body? Right? So, but look here. So, look what he's saying here. You'll live hereforth, right? Altogether without a body. So you're going to live without a body from this point on, and pass still to more beautiful abodes than those that he just described. Well, by chance, did anyone bring a copy of Plato? Another copy in different translation?
I have a couple of translations.
Could I have one, please? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Watch what happens now. We'll look at another. Oh, could you? Yes, that's Jowett. Is it or Gloob? Yeah, Gloob. Yeah. Could you? Those who have purified